right, another review. I forgot to do it yesterday. Well, didn't forget. I was so tired. The last week, I've slept like 2 to 4 hours a night, and it really caught up with me on Thursday. Thursday, I did get a little bit more sleep, but I shouldn't have probably shouldn't have traded because of how bad of sleep. So this is going to be a review, but I mean, look at that grade. It's a D, not the greatest, but it was a good day to learn. So, um, yeah, let's just go ahead and look at some of this. So this was on the Dow at the open. Needs review. There's a relative equal high low. There's some of that in there. Losing trades. Um, this was not a good trade, so that's not in there. Loss. There was. I wouldn't consider it a win. Okay. So yeah, bad trading here. Let's just click on this one. So this was. Let's look at the. There's another one right here. Okay. So this was an interesting trade. So there's three trades here. A short here, a short here after we took out this high, and a short here at the highs, risking higher time frame order block. Um, and then later I took a long. So this short, I was looking for this move to really dump. I was looking for a much bigger trade, um, and if I had just been on, the Nasdaq or the ES, which didn't set up relative equal highs like the Dow did, I would have caught a pretty, a pretty massive move. Um, did not happen on the Dow, and I think it is just because of the Russell. So I was thinking the Dow would be weak versus the Russell, which is correct, but not as weak as the rotation from the Nasdaq and the ES stocks into the breadth. So I just had the logic wrong with this trade, and yes, there was relative equal highs. Yes, normally this entry wasn't terrible. Um, we did have a shift here on a small time frame, which was really strong. So it wasn't terrible, but it was just wrong and bad idea as you go back and look. So this one pretty justifiable short. If I was targeting these lows, that would have already been. If I put a stop here, that would have easily already been very profitable. But I didn't. I was holding for a big swing, so I got in small, risking higher up. I think it was risking. I can't remember. But took a really small loss on this. Didn't size up enough to take profit here, so I held it and then got out for a tiny loss. This is a bad trade here. This was enough reason to just send it on a trade. I'm pretty sure this is the 1 minute chart because these are 30 minutes. Yeah. So since this didn't work out, and then we come and took this high, the logic for this was also flawed. Just not a good entry. The higher time frame, and we had not had a market structure shift, so neither of these at the end of the day should have been entered. This one, on the other hand, did make sense from an entry standpoint and everything else. So this was a decent, good trade, risking the order block. I did get out, made back some of the profit or the losses that I took, so I was down about one average trade. Could have, obviously gone out here or here and would have been completely break even, whatever, but didn't. And that's because I started to realize this just wasn't going to happen as this price action played out and NASDAQ and ES had already dumped. And I was like, okay, this is just not going to dump. So I ended up switching long because we did get a playbook set up here, which would have been a great trade. Wouldn't have played out the same day. Overnight it did, and could have swung that because it did provide another entry into the real candle body of the order block. So you can't see here, but we this was the original trade setup, which I got in long over here, which was a mistake, and that is because this hadn't tagged the actual order block body with conviction. And no, I did. I did get in here. This was the first long. I should have taken partials here, and then we came back down, stopped me out. As I added in more size, and then it stopped me out. And then this came, took this low out, and hit the real order block body. So yeah, just bad trading. If I had just executed this better and was able to swing trade it overnight, or at least get in and then get out the close and then right at the open get back in. And obviously if I had slept well, this would have been my classic playbook trade with a great risk reward, great, everything would have been amazing. So that was my bad sleep. Here's my journaling from that trade. I don't know why this is up here. Okay. I don't know, yeah, whatever. But yeah, I forced the trades. There wasn't a clear market structure shift on those first ones. Just overall bad trading, bad everything, bad sleep. So you can see why. And obviously the solution to this is just to get good sleep and not trade on the days that I have very exhaustive thoughts and willpower. So this was a bad trade. I think a D is actually a little too high now that that's why we do these reviews, to really go into detail. No, I was right with that because I forgot that I did take that. There was that one short that was good. So overall, I'd rate it a D as for the whole day. But yeah, this was CPI day. Here you can see how I was short here, that first short, the top of here, which would have been in here on ES or NASDAQ, and it just didn't follow through like I was looking for. So missed out on a big one. This was the exact idea I had on the Dow. I was gonna target way below into internal range, which would have been like, for ES, that would have been like here targets, and then I had lower targets at the actual lows, which we bounced at. So would have been able to get out the close for a great trade if I knew that the Dow and the Russell are more tightly correlated than I thought. And the real idea from the Russell that I've had for the breadth market opening up should have came into play here for the inverse on here, since breadth is opening up. Should have known that we would be rotating out these. I thought these guys would do this, and I thought this would do what these guys did. Here's just the higher time frame. This is one of my favorite just easy trades, just relative equal highs, created wicks. That's why I got on that last short. I was like, okay, I'm just gonna use this order block here because I knew we'd probably take this high out once took me out of the second trade, and was risking the candle body. But yeah, it just didn't work. So yeah, that's the trade. Not really much more. There was a little yeah, the nuance stuff is stuff I've kind of figured out today. Now I've had sleep last night to figure out what happened there, and yeah, so that's why you journal, that's why you playbook these, because you just get better and you learn more, and then boom, you put your stuff to the test in the market, and then you get consistent, or you learn, and then you get consistent at what you learn. So, anyways, good review. Here's my playbook. Need to just created this, figuring out how to use it, and gonna add all my old shit to this. But yeah, that was the review for the DAO. On to the next.